Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know, this is Here's to Life. I hadn't been posting in a while, but I'm back now. I had to take an extended amount of time off, as you know, because of the pandemic. I'm a healthcare worker, so I've been very busy. There's a huge shortage. Pretty much everybody who is able-bodied and single has decided to go and travel and make that money on the road, which I can't blame them honestly. Getting $100, $200 an hour just to do the same crap job you've been doing. I mean, who gonna knock it? You know what I mean? Get your money, but y'all really left a bunch of people who got families out hanging out to dry. It's cold, but I know it's a cold world. Um, what this post is about today, I made a post a long time ago, probably about a year and some months now, where I basically encourage parents who've taken out Parent Plus loans to maximize those loans. Now, for some reason, the title alone has gotten people pretty much up in arms. A lot of people are worked up. A lot of people are upset. I've by a lot of people. Keep in mind, I have about 100 subscribers, so this is about 5 comments that I've received. So but I'm sure if we scale it up, let's say for that these 5 comments, if I had 1 million subscribers, it'd probably be 50 comments. You know what I mean? But because I have a small channel now, I'm capable of replying to those 5. What I wanted to do is, number one, justify why I even made a post encouraging parents who've taken out Parent Plus loans to maximize them. When people heard that they should, or when people saw that they should maximize their Parent Plus loans, it's like they came out with pitchforks. Oh, you're telling people to take out loans, man? That's just not right. Dude, calm down. First off, lower your tone. Secondly, it's a very niche group of parents who might actually find benefit to maximizing the amount of student loans that they've taken out already for their child. It makes sense if you plan on doing certain things. It just is what it is. For some reason, the fact of talking about loans has become almost as provocative as a person talking about intercourse or sex, you know what I mean? And people who actually dive into it and have an open conversation about it, like myself and a bunch of other people, we're looked at as like the creepy gym teacher who's now taking a class on sex ed and giving out a bag of condoms to your pride and joy. That's not us. You've already taken out this money. Like, now the fact that you don't want to speak about it makes it a bigger problem. And I'm going to talk about it. And while I'm on the subject, come on now. You got a 15, 16, 17-year-old child taking a sex education class. Like, they new at it. You not new at these loans, and your child not new to learn about sex. Shoot. Your child been getting horizontal for like a year now. Been getting 90 degrees for the last 3 months. You know what I'm talking about? So let's not act like this is brand new. Student loans is a very touchy subject. Loans in general, finances in general. A lot of people, I understand, don't like to talk about them, and a lot of people are either like to take a stance that, hey, I should have never taken these loans out in the first place, or I should have never taken this money in the first place. And I hate anyone that tells someone else to do it. We aren't the loan companies. That's what you have to keep in mind. People who advise on finances are not the loan companies. People who advise on finances and actually take pride, like myself, in the information that you provide being correct, we see that there is a need for information. Point blank. We know that financial pictures are not pretty. Your financial picture is a crappy macaroni shell sketched on a old piece of construction paper sealed with some white Elmer's glue. I know it's not great to look at, but it's yours. You got to put that on your refrigerator. You got to pass it every day when you go get the eggs and orange juice out in the morning. You can't slide that picture under your bed and hope that it'll be gone the next time you decide to clean your room. It's going to still be there. Nobody's going to move it for you. You have to bunker down, you have to create a plan, and you have to talk about your finances, you have to talk about your student loans, point blank. You may not get the information from me. You can get it from Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, whoever you need your information from to tell you that, hey, the best thing to do when you are planning finances is to plan your finances. Student loans are no different. So what I decided to do with this post in particular is I want to go through a couple of those comments about people who may have disagreed with me, and I wanted to do it in this particular fashion after properly replying to the comments in the comments section. I wanted to make sure that the people who took the time out to write their comments in my section knew that I read their comments and also gave a in-depth response. It wasn't always met with the best replies or intentions, but I do appreciate everyone who commented. I promise you, as long as my channel stays this small, there are very few comments I'm not going to read and respond to. And anyone who has questions, feel free to reach out. So let's just get into it. So the first comment I wanted to basically discuss is one from a user named Philip. I wanted to first off say thank you, Philip, for your information. Thank you for everything that you've given to my channel. You've given me great content to discuss, great comments. So first off, thank you, and I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get to reading on his comment. It says, encouraging parents to max out plus loans is reckless. How can you prepare for retirement by paying back fat loans for their kids? Kids have to pay their own way. Don't do it. All right. So once again, thank you. I appreciate it. And I really want to respond to this. First off, what you're going to see as a trend in these comments is, for some reason, they did not have a grasp of the title. The title is plain as day, says why you should max out Parent Plus loans. It's not why you should take out Parent Plus loans. Let's just be clear. I am not encouraging anyone of any kind to take out Parent Plus loans. Parent Plus loans, they're not the worst you can take out, because private loans are hands down the worst loans you can take out. But as far as the public loans you can take out, Parent Plus loans are the worst. And while we're at it, let me just go down the list of ways that I think are the best ways for paying for college. And I'll start at number one. The number one way to pay for college is just find a bag of money. Just find it on the road, on the street. Some bank truck leaves it. Door pops open. You get it. And if its value is greater or equal to that covers your college education, use it by all means. That's number one. Number two, you got a rich family member. Because believe me, you got to be rich. Most colleges are between $40,000 and $80,000 for tuition, and that number is just going up. Nobody's controlling it. Colleges are increasing tuition yearly, some semester by semesters, not including housing, not including food. Prices are going up. So $100,000 for education is very, very normal right now. But yeah, number two, go ahead, find a rich family member, somebody who's not going to require you to pay the money back, somebody who's not going to require you to have a certain GPA, somebody that's not going to require you to have a certain attendance or do anything else, because that's basically preferential. Number three, scholarships. If you can get an academic scholarship, if you can get a sports scholarship, terrific. Number four, grants. If you can get grants that cover your tuition, very few grants are going to cover your tuition. Honestly, I hate to say it. Most grants are around $5,500, and your semester alone is going to be $8, $9, $10,000 depending on where you go. I mean, shoot, it was that price when I was going to college. I'm old as hell. Very, very few people are going to be able to work and pay their way through school like this is the 60s. You did not go to some hick town 2-year junior college and where they pay $80 an hour for a semester and end up having to pay $3,000 for the whole school year. That doesn't happen anymore. Junior colleges now are $20,000 to attend. If you plan on changing your family dynamic, where you were projected to be, if you plan on getting out of poverty, if you plan on altering your lifestyle in any way, if you don't already have the funding, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to be lent the money from somewhere. If you plan on starting a business, you have to get business funding. You might say, yeah, there are small business grants. Small business grants usually don't award money until you've been in operation for 6 months. Where's the startup money going to come from? School is no different, but it's a lot. School is a lot riskier than actually starting a small business. Honestly, you don't know how it's going to end. Small businesses at least have statistics to go by, so you can know what industry you can probably go in and have more success than others. But when it comes to education, honestly, you don't even know what's going to happen in those years as you're going to school. So it's a lot riskier. That's why I tell everyone. That's what this channel's purpose has always been. You need to evaluate before you decide to enroll in college. It's a tough decision to decide not to go to college, but everyone has the option to go. But you need to understand that it's going to be a money pit. You are going to be hemorrhaging money in college, and it's going to be a tough hill to climb to get out. I really got off subject. I apologize. This is going to be an incredibly long post. I thought about doing it as a YouTube live, but I wanted to make sure I was able to edit when times where I said because I say a lot when I'm collecting my thoughts. So I decided to do it as a regular post. It's going to be extremely long, probably about an hour, hour and a half. So my first reply to Philip was essentially what I just stated, that 65% of parents have taken out Parent Plus loans. So clearly, my voice with 111 subscribers have not reached any of those 65% of parents who are already taking the loans out. I can't affect what they've done already. What I can say is if they plan on going back to college, then they should consider maxing out loans they've already taken out. And another trend we're going to see as I go through these comments is for some reason people, when I give statistics, they reply with sarcasm. And I mean, I don't understand if they think that when I give a statistic that it's me being sarcastic. Honestly, it's just facts. It's the best thing I can use to justify um, my description and why things are the way they are. They're just statistics. That's all I go by. Here, I'm replied to basically with a statement saying statistically 1.7 trillion is owed. Feels good to make a statement. Owing tens of thousands with fees, high interest is insane. Many do not realize it before it's too late. Do a 2-year stint in the army and get college money. That is no way to start a career. Seen many fall into it. So basically, I reiterated to him by saying, hey, I understand what you're saying, but it sounds like you're trying to argue the point of why someone should not take out loans at all. I agree. We don't have to go past that point. I get you, bro. I understand. Yes, you do not need to take out student loans if you have the option of not doing it. This is for people who have already taken them out. That's all it's for. And as justification, in a sense, I use the fact that about 25% of Americans are considering pursuing second careers. Some people do not like the careers that they're in. These are what gives you options as far as you can paint a financial picture that's more realistic if you know what you've already been approved for interest wise. Yes, if you pursue a second career and you can't afford to pay for it, your job may not pay for it, so you may end up having to take out loans. And these are very accurate numbers and options that you have. So I go on by saying blah 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 that all my information is vetted and I go through all my information before I make a post. So I like to stick to about 80%. If I'm at least 80% accurate, then my post is good. That's why it takes me so long to make a post and to edit. I double check myself and I research before I make a 10-minute post. So I mean, my goodness, people are saying I've been wrong in 10 minutes. Come on now. I'm wrong with my post of a 10-minute worth of content, and they're saying I'm wrong. Come on, bro. Just to touch on the fact that they can't join the army. Joining the armed forces is not only admirable, it is not only recommended, it is not only a great option to pay for education, it's not only a great option to fund your retirement. Joining the armed forces is so rewarding for people. I highly, highly encourage it for anyone who can. Now, the average age of a person taking out Parent Plus loans, you can imagine has a college age child that is trying to go to college. So it's between, I think, 40 to around early 50s. They're probably not going to strap up the boots and go to basic training anytime soon to fund college. Yes, it's a great option for the child, but the parents aren't going to do it. You're not going to talk them into it. What I said many, many times, what you can do, take out those Parent Plus loans, pursue a career in healthcare or a public service based career that will not only let you take its funds out, but put you on a path to be forgiven within 10 years. So if you're 41, your child's going to college, you decide to go back to school to pursue a second career. It's basically the world is designed now more than ever where you can pursue a second career in a year or two. Nursing programs are a year, and nurses are, some of the most, people to deal with, but they make bank, bro. They make a lot of money. They'll let you know about it too, but they work hard, but they make a lot of money, and they have tons and tons of programs so they can be forgiven. As far as if new jobs, people help them out with student loans, and also public service loan forgiveness. Next, he sent me a link to a post by another YouTuber. The channel is called Mastery of Money, which actually is good. He's been posting some good content. Like I said, most people are going to be, once you get to the point where you're kind of at the 10-minute mark on content financially based, if you're not stopping and double checking yourself, you can get to the point where your statements kind of become inaccurate. And the post he sent me is no different. And I'm going to basically talk about that in my next response. So as you can see, my response is pretty lengthy, so I'm definitely not going to go through that whole thing. What I will say is touch on some main bullet points about the content that Mastery of Money made, and just let you know what I sent him. First, he gives a statistic that 38% of parents expect for their child to pay for at least half of their own education, which is great. I concur with that statistic completely. But after delving into it, we can also understand that that means that 30% of those parents expect to help their child out with at least half of their own tuition as well. So what that means is they would still have to come up with at least half their child's college tuition. So if they don't have a savings of between $20,000 to $80,000, depending on the college the child attends, then they would still need to utilize student loans. Moving on to the 34-second mark, utilizing the same survey, he gave a statistic that 70% of parents also said that their child is not limited to their college selection based on price. What that basically means is whatever college the child decides to go to, the parents completely support their child's decision, no matter what the price of tuition is. So if your child is accepted into one of the most expensive schools in the nation, a lot of parents don't want to discourage their child from going and will try to make means for that child to attend their dream college, so to speak. It's such a promoted event on social media when a lot of students get accepted into these colleges. They record themselves screaming at this computer screen after they hit the open button and get accepted in colleges. That a lot of people want to be able to use social media to basically promote themselves going to these flagship colleges that charge astronomical amounts of tuition. Moving on through that video. Matter of fact, I forgot to mention, I will completely post that link to the video in my description, just in case anyone wants to check it out. It's a great video. It's very fast. It doesn't take a lot of time to go over. Moving on, he kind of talks about the small amount of repayment options that are offered through Parent Plus loans. I completely agree. I've already said that multiple times, and if you watch my post, I talk about you're only basically limited to two payment options, and that is public service loan forgiveness if you're a healthcare provider, and also the income-based 25-year or 2025-year repayment option. But that's not to mention the child can also consolidate loans when they're done in college into their own repayment. If you have a child that will do so, you have to confer with your child before taking out the loans and have an understanding with them that they will, at the time of graduation, consolidate the Parent Plus loans into their loans to repay as well. Honestly, I love my children, but I seriously doubt that they're going to take $250,000 I already gave to them back from me. in consolidation. So don't bank on the fact that your child is going to consolidate those Parent Plus loans back to them. But that is an option. It's a serious option. If your child is willing to take all of the Parent Plus loans and consolidate when they consolidate after graduation into their repayment, then that would be a tremendous weight off of the parents' shoulders, of course. Everything I completely agree with on the video, right up until around the 4-minute, 43-second mark, we'll say. And that's where he makes a statement that Parent Plus loans are not dischargeable in bankruptcy. That's completely false. Parent Plus loans are dischargeable in bankruptcy. It's not an easy process. No one ever said it was. No one ever said that the process of taking out the loans was easy either. But there are certain processes, and I'll leave a couple links in my description as well. I like to leave links. I'm the link guy. So if you have any questions about these processes, you can look into a couple of those links, and they completely talk about how Parent Plus loans are dischargeable in bankruptcy, what type of filings you would have to do. Also, you'd have to make a certain income, and your projected income has to be a certain amount. All in all, I really appreciate his comments and his replies, so thank you. Next up is from a user called Ginger C. I actually wanted to do 3, but I honestly thought this was going to be like an hour-long post. I don't have the attention span for that, so I'm going to cut it down. This might end up being, I don't know, however long it is, it's going to be what it is. But Ginger C wrote, starting about 2.5 weeks ago is when the first comment was made. It says, as a parent stuck paying off Parent Plus loans for the rest of my life, this is ridiculous advice. Now, keep that in mind. She opened with her opening statement saying that she's going to be paying off Parent Plus loans for the rest of her life, which is what the post was about. That post was for that person. I don't know what that person identifies as, but that post was pertaining to that person. That person has taken out, and it doesn't even specify an amount. That person has taken out a certain amount of money and plans on paying Parent Plus loans for the rest of her life. I would ask her, if I was standing in front of her, I would ask, first off, what's your income currently? Is it, in the average, national average range of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000? Would you want to increase it? Do you plan on going back to college? Do you like the career you're in? Would you consider taking a second career? Not to pay off the loans, but simply to find some self-fulfillment. What do you want to do? What do you think your options are? And then we can talk about a plan afterward. So naturally, my response was pretty basic. What I've been telling everybody. First off, don't beat yourself up. A lot of people are taking out loans. It's over $1 trillion worth of loans, so you're not the only one in the boat. These are your options. You got 2 repayment plans, 10-year, 20-year. If you want to go with the 10-year and you don't have a health-related profession, find one. It is not hard to find a health-related profession. I promise you, if I thought it was hard, I wouldn't be telling people to do it. You can find a health-related profession, especially as a second career. You can go into radiology. You can go into, nurse tech. You can go into, nursing school. Keeping in mind that you will be paying the Parent Plus loans until you get on some type of payment plan. But if you maximize your loans, or not even maximize, let's say you take out enough loans to cover the financing of your new career path, and you decide to go to nursing school or radiology school, and when you get out, you're making double your income on that $50,000. Let's say you're making around $100,000 a year. Your repayment on a public service loan forgiveness is still going to be income based. You'll still be paying around 20% of your income. So that means if you're making $100,000 and you're on basically income-based repayment plan until through the public service loan forgiveness, you'll be around $400 to $500 a month, which is very manageable, and it's going to be forgiven after 10 years. She went on to say that as a parent paying off thousands of loans, which we've already established, honestly, I don't know why you said that again. This is all true. Thank you. But does not in any way make a good idea to take out all the Parent Plus loans. Watching this BS. She called it BS. Really? I worked hard on that post. did not do it. If you can help, I am 62 years old and I have absolutely no intention of doing 10 years of public service work. You're 62 years old. If someone asked you that if you were 62 years old, if you felt old, what would your response most likely be? Would you say, yeah, baby, my knees is hurting, my ankles hurting, my legs and my back. You know I got to go to 7 doctor's appointments. Or would you say, no, I actually feel pretty good? And what are your options? Come on now, what are your options? Or you just stated in your first reply in the comment that you're going to be paying for the rest of your life. You go pursue a career for a year or two and actually have a stay of execution, a means to an end of 10 years from the time you finish. Let's say 2 years if she were to go to a radiology school. Radiology schools, most people when they get out of radiology school make between $70,000 and $80,000 pretty much. So she'll be 64, 65 years old. 75 loans are forgiven. Yeah, that's right around retirement age. If she hadn't already saved up for retirement by the time she's 62, it's not going to happen. You're not going to retire anyway. But what you will have are forgiven loans by the time you're at retirement age, even if you don't have retirement. She goes on to say that even though I can get my payments reduced with the income driven payment plan, the interest will continue to accrue and I still have to make payments for the next 25 years. I'll be 87 years old. Let me tell you something. If I'm paying any money back past 70 years old, you got to come find me. Like you got to load up the truck with your boys, come find me and come get your money. I'm sorry to say, I apologize. I wish I could. I need this money for Geritol and for Bengay and for the little pill boxes that separates my pills by the day of the week. You not getting that money. At 70, let's call it quits. Like, seriously, you not getting it. Not for me. You better get it for somebody else. Like, come get it out the casket when I'm gone. She wraps up by saying, except this video is BS and just needs to be taken down. It's absolute crap advice and you can argue with me all you want, but you are not standing in my shoes. I'm sure you will respond, as you obviously can't stand to be absolutely wrong. So I will respond not because I think I'm wrong. I will respond because it sounds, number one, like she doesn't. I keep saying she. My apologies. I extremely apologize. It sounds like this person does not know or want to even pursue the options that they have available. Yeah, they're tough choices to make and they involve some work, but they are options. If you're going to lay down and accept what you have, then don't be upset at the choice you've made. You have to live in your truth and live in your choices. We're all adults. I can't stop you from being an adult and controlling your own actions. It just is what it is. I can't control that. I went on basically apologizing. Like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I know it sucks. It's a terrible situation to be in, but all I can do is reiterate your options. I can't change the options that you have. It's only a couple. When it comes to Parent Plus loans, it is not a plethora of things that you can do in order to get those loans discharged or forgiven. It is what it is. So she replied by saying, and this is my favorite reply out of everyone's, is she replies by saying, okay, you are full. Can I say the curse word without being monetized? I'm not monetized anyway, but I don't want to change this person's words. So this person said, okay, you are full of SHI. Where is it? You know what I'm saying? If you are the person who posted this video saying to maximize Parent Plus loans, you should be ashamed of yourself. I encourage everyone reading my post and then you're a narcissist response, please do not maximize your loans. This guy's a narcissist. Avoid it at all costs. He's a narcissist, and he's a narcissist. Understanding the personality of a narcissist is who will respond to what I responded to. So he's a narcissist. and I want to get the last word, but he's going to get the last word because he's a narcissist. Where did this narcissist term come from? That's like that's the word of 2020, 2021. Narcissist. That's like been the word. Like, I identify as male is I think they like now have to coincide. If you identify as male, you have to also identify as narcissistic. Because if you reply to any comment, you're apparently a narcissist. Crazy. So I replied with my narcissistic self. Um, I replied, each of your responses have gotten less and less valid. So much so to the point where you're not even responding to my content anymore. You're responding to your own responses. What do you think narcissistic is? Like, what do you think it is? Come on. Like, you stop responding to me and start responding to yourself. So, as I responded earlier, I seriously doubt you've watched the post in its entirety or any of my other posts. So I go on to say, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that's some big energy you're using with all that profane language. Look, don't come for me. Honestly, don't save it for somebody else. Save it for the lady checking you out at the Lululemon outlet, Karen, because I'm not the person you need to be directing the energy towards. If you got yourself in certain situations, if you got yourself into any financial situation, like I said, that is your financial picture. That is what you have to build your house on. And honestly, yeah, your house is a mobile home. Yes, it's in the worst trailer park on this side of rural Alabama. But that's what you got. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. That's what you have to live with. So she replies again, and she kind of doubles down on the last comment. She goes classy with it this time, though. So she goes away from the typical Google trending words and kind of did a little bit of history and soul searching. She says to anyone reading this, do not, I repeat, do not maximize a Parent Plus student loan. And furthermore, look at anyone who tells you to do so as a total charlatan. I do declare, sir, you are a charlatan, and this is tomfoolery. Anyone within the sound of my voice, do not, I repeat, do not listen to this, sir. You are not a man of honor. Like, what? Um, I personally do not consider myself a charlatan. Um, I'm more of a dignitary. Like, what the You see what I gotta deal with my 100 subscribers on YouTube? I'm at 100. I mean, I would like to be at 1,000. I have 5 of them to deal with, but it's okay. She replied about a day ago saying, do not maximize Parent Plus student loans under any circumstances. Do not believe this ridiculous post or any of the absurd statements this narcissist has to say. This is my last comment to your video. I'm 100% sure you'll need to have the last word. Jeez. Man, that's harsh. She gave it as our last post, which thank you. You know, I don't know if it is. We'll see if it is. I'll make another post if it is. But yeah, she said her last post and then said I'm a narcissist again. That's what's a tally now? Like 17 times she called me a narcissist in these comments. So I replied. so so I replied, nope. uh, bro, I said nope. I do not need to get the last word. Like, it is what it is. You get the last word. I can see those are 2 comments. I would like to do the other one. The other one actually was a really nice lady. I'm just going to mention her. We actually had good dialogue. Let me pull her name up. I don't want to just bring up the ones that kind of went left and not mention the one that actually was good. We went back and forth. We actually talked about options. and I she was actually feeling for a friend, which I get. Like your family is affected by student loans, like everyone. Um, she goes by the post by the name Rising Phoenix, and I may or may not put up some information on her, but I wanted to say if she does watch this post, that I really appreciate our dialogue. I really think that you should get back to posting and that I should do it myself. So we should probably hold each other's feet to the fire. But if you have any questions, feel free to like, comment. You can subscribe if you want to. Either way, I'm going to start back posting whether people subscribe or not. So I definitely think that people like me and people like Student Loan Planner, who, if you hadn't checked out Student Loan Planner's podcast or any of their channels, definitely go do that. I might leave a description in the box below, but I'm getting tired of leaving all these links in the description and the things in the description. So may or may not. If I don't, check out the Student Loan Planner. That guy's pretty good with the eyebrow. If he is, you still got one big eyebrow, you're at the right place. So yeah, with that, then everyone have a good day. Stay blessed. Here's the life.